Hello, what's up, amazing people? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Han, and I create content about web development. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to create a sticky sidebar. So as I scroll up, I want you to notice the behavior of my sidebar right here real quick. So as you can see, it is sticky. When we scroll to a certain height of our web page, it's going to be sticky. It's going to stick to the right and it's never going to move away. So this is kind of the medium design, and it's really cool. So as you can see, our header is as well moving, and I've already created a tutorial about this, and I'll link the card up right here in the top right corner. So as you can see, I want you to notice the behavior of my navbar right here. My navbar right here is changing to white as I scroll to a little bit to a little section on the page, maybe to certain height. And then as you notice, my sidebar, my bad, is also sticking to the right and it's never changing. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to create just that. So without any further ado, let's get into the tutorial. But before we get into the tutorial, if you like this kind of content, web development content in React and JavaScript, HTML and CSS, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on the bells in order to do not miss any updates whenever I release a new video. And of course, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up to help me this video reach out to a lot of people. So without any further ado, let's get into my IDE and let's write code for this. So as you can see, the only behavior that we have is our navbar, and our sidebar is really moving up. As we scroll down, it's really moving up, and we want it to stick to the right, as we scroll up to this section right here. So it's not sticking, and let's fix that. Okay, so let's go into my IDE right here real quick, and then right here I have my home.js, and this is where I'm displaying the sidebar right here, the sidebar component. And then in my comps folder, I have this sidebar right.js, which is that sidebar that you see. So I'm rendering it here. Okay, so I want to make it that when I basically scroll to a certain height on the page, it's going to stick to the right. It's going to stick here, and this is not gonna scroll up. So let's fix that in this basically. So what we want to do is in our component, in our home.js component, we want to get the height that we scroll. We want to set up an event that listens for the height that we scroll, basically adding to this window a scroll event. Whenever we scroll, we are going to record whatever we scrolled and then determine when to make this sidebar sticky. So let's go into our code, and then right here we are going to start by right here we're going to create a function. We're going to create a function, and it's going to be called set fixed sidebar, I guess should make more sense. Okay, so we are going to create a function right here, and we are going to write an if statement that checks how much, or maybe we are going to create an if statement that checks how much we've scrolled on the page. So in order to be able to do this, we are going to use what is called state, the use state hook from the React library. So you're going to destructure this and then say use state. So that's going to import use state from the React library, and we can use it in our project in our component. We're going to say const, we're going to declare a constant, and then we're going to basically say we're going to call this set fix. This is the default value. Okay, and then the setter function that sets the sticky sidebar, and you're going to say it's equal to use state, and the default value is going to be false. Okay, so our sidebar isn't sticky for now, so we are going to pass in a default value of false. Okay, so right here we want to check if we've scrolled to a certain height where we want our sidebar to be sticky, and then we want to change the state to true. So we're going to write an if statement that says if window, this is a global variable that's available in JavaScript, in vanilla JavaScript, if window.scroll and then .scroll y. Okay, if window.scroll y is greater or equal to 500. So these are my pixels, that I want the user to be able to scroll to, and then I want to set my sidebar to be sticky. So if window.scroll, if the user scrolls a height greater than or equal to 500, that's what it means. We want to change our state, so we want to set remember, set fix is our state, and we want to change its value to true. Else, if that doesn't happen, if they scroll back up or they scroll a bit down, we want if they scroll back up, that means to something to some height less than 500, we want to set the state back to its default value, which is false. Okay, so essentially what this means, let's see, we have a syntax error. Let's see, if I scroll set fix, okay, else, oh my bad, this, I can spell this correctly, else. Okay, so what essentially this if check means is saying that if a user scrolls to a height down that is greater than or equal to 500, we want to say it want to change the state, want to change it to true from false to true. Else, if they scroll back up, that means 490, 300 or something like that, that's smaller than 500, want to set this state to false. Okay, so this sidebar isn't sticky, right? Because if we scroll back up and then we've given it a fixed class, as we're going to see later on in the CSS, this sidebar, our page is gonna be a little bit messed up, right? It's gonna be a little bit messed up, and you're gonna find yourself that this sidebar is gonna be up here in the hero section, which is not what we want, right? So let's go back. Okay, so after implementing this, we want to add an event listener to our window. So window.add event listener. Again, this window thing, this window object kind of is available. It's a global variable. It's available so to the whole JavaScript. It's in vanilla JavaScript, and then it has this so-called method that takes in two parameters, and then let's see, so we are listening for an event of scroll, and then we want to say we want to call our function, right? So it's set fixed. It's set fixed. Let's see, let's undo that. Let's see, we want to call our function right here, so it's set fixed sidebar, right? So you're calling our function right here on scroll. Whenever the user scrolls on our page, we are going to call this function, right? So after that, let's go to our CSS file and let's define some CSS. Okay, so let's go to our style.css right here, and then this is the CSS for our sidebar. As of now, this is the CSS for our sidebar. It's position relative, and then it's index. Alright, so we are going to define some classes right here for our sidebar class. Remember, the sidebar class is the class that is attached to our sidebar component right here, sidebar component. So we are going to give it we're going to define the classes, the CSS for our fixed class. So we are going to change the position to fixed. Okay, it's not inherit, it's fixed. We're going to change the position to fixed. We want it to be from top with 6%, and then we want the margin top. We want the margin top to be we want the margin top to be 3 rem. Okay, yeah, 3 rem. So right here. Okay, so these values may change according to you, to your project or to your needs. This CSS may change, but the position fixed isn't gonna change, I'm sure. Okay, so with that done, we want to what we want now is to assign this class, to find a way to assign this class to our sidebar, right? Because right now, as you can see, even if we scroll, nothing is happening, and we want this to be sticky. So let's find a way, let's figure out a way in vanilla JavaScript to assign this class to our existing sidebar class. So we are going to go right here in the class name, and we are going to put it in curly braces. So we are going to use the so-called ternary operator to essentially check for a condition, and if it's true, we want to execute certain code. If it's not, we want to execute another code. So we are going to check for our state, and we are going to check if it's truthy. If it's returning a true value, that means it's going to return a true value if the window.scroll is greater than or equal to 500, right? It's going to be truthy, it's going to be true. So if it's true, we want to give the sidebar class, and then we want to give it the fixed class as well. Else, if it's not, we want it to be with the sidebar class only, right? So with this set, if we save this, go back to our browser, refresh. Okay, if we hit refresh and then scroll back up, if we scroll down, as you can see, the sidebar is really sticky, is essentially sticky. As you can see, it's sticking to the right, it's not going anywhere. If we scroll up and down, it's going always to be there, it's going to be sticky no matter how many posts we have, right? So that's it for this video. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll be seeing you in the next one.